Why can some creators or influencers launch anything, a product, a course, a brand, and make 100 grand in an afternoon, or just post a video and all of a sudden have 500,000 views? It's probably because they've got an email list. If you don't have an email list, if you don't own your followers, you don't have a business. I'm Deacon Nick. Stick around for the next few minutes and I'll show you how to build an email list. I'll show you what tools you need to do it with. I'll give you some tips and tricks. I have set this up for, I can't even count how many businesses I've done this for. So, um, you know, also, if you're looking for a community of influencers or creators, you can go to school.com/influencers school kit and get stuff like this all the time. But enough about that. Like I said, if you're not collecting emails, you're just collecting likes. So why do some influencers just never really stress about the algorithms? And it just seems like whatever they do turns to gold. Like they've got that, Midas touch, right? Um, why can they launch anything, a product or a course or a video, and have people just swarm all over it? And sure, if you've got 5,000 followers and they've got 500,000 followers or 5 million followers, of course that has something to do with it. But usually it's behind the scenes, it's having an email list. Let's just say this: the graveyard of influencers who rely solely on social media is getting quite crowded. You've got to have an email list. Let's talk about Google for a second. What business is Google really in? Uh, you need to be in that same business. If you don't have an email list, you don't have a business. You have followers, and followers can vanish overnight. If you've been in this game for any period of time, I'm sure you've just followed your clicks and your likes and your responses and said, what the hell? All of a sudden, I'm not getting noticed. I'm not getting the clicks. I'm not getting the views that I got. You can't rely on the algorithms. You got to be able to push a button and let or at least your better fans, the ones that sign up for your list, you've got to be able to push a button and just show them, hey, look, I just posted a video. Get them to swarm that video. Don't rely on the algorithms. How many times have you seen something on a website that's like irresistible? This is how you do it, right? And all you need to do to get it is your email address. I feel like sometimes I spend most of my day taking myself off of email lists, but face it, email is never going away, right? I'm sure you've signed up for 100 things in your career, right? Or in the time you've been online. It could be a guide, a template, a free challenge, a quiz. It doesn't matter. The person offering it, the person that gets you to click and join their list, they know exactly what they're doing. They're hanging out that little carrot, and you're chasing it. You need to be the person hanging out that little carrot and get other people to change it. Because once they have your email address, they own the most valuable piece of data in digital marketing: direct access to your attention. It's the attention game, right? You hear Gary Vee all the time talking about today's currency is attention. Then he uses the F word a few times. But so if you're an influencer, that means you should be doing the same thing with your audience. That's the business that Google is in. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Here's one of the most important reasons: it's ban insurance. That's why you need an email list. Let me put it bluntly: your Instagram, your TikTok, your YouTube account, you could lose it tomorrow. And I pray it's never happened to you, but I'm sure you know somebody that it's happened to who lost their account. Um, or you can just be throttled by an algorithm change. Maybe you don't lose your account, maybe it's not banned. I hope you never have to go through that. But um, the algorithm changes, and all of a sudden you're like, what the F? I'm not getting the views anymore. And, or your followers could just get distracted by the next shiny object, the next shiny influencer that catches their eye. And all of a sudden, the guys that used to check you out a couple times a week, they're not checking you out anymore. But if you got their email, you send out a correctly written email, and all of a sudden you've got them back. In the mid 2000s, I'm showing my age. Shit, I can talk about the 80s. But in the mid 2000s, I was in the mobile app business. I had 6 employees, and over a period of around 3 years, we had over 1,200 apps on the Google Big Brother Play Store. I call Google Big Brother, right? But and I wasn't getting wealthy, but I still remember the day I went to my wife and said, "Well, hon, the apps are getting downloaded, they're getting used. we cracked $1,000 3 days in a row. So I was making over $1,000 a day, and that's not wealth, but it's great money, right? A grand a day. And um, I woke up one morning, I checked my email. I got that email from Google. Due to, God, I don't even remember exactly what the wording was. Terms of service. Due to multiple terms of service infractions, we've deleted your account. And they used the word suspended, but it was gone, right? Um, God, I didn't vomit, but I felt like I was gonna, because like I said, we had spent years building these things, like 2 years building these mobile apps, and it was incredible, right? And I got that email, my stomach sunk, and um, I don't wish that on anybody. A mistake that I made, I didn't have anything in those apps, anything to tease those people enough to get them to go to a landing page and give me their email for something silly, right? And they weren't on. I wasn't on Apple. I was only on Google Play because of the type of apps, and that's not important. But the bottom line was, it literally bankrupted me when this happened. I literally, because I was paying all these people, right? I literally, it threw me into bankruptcy. And I've overcome it. I've come back, and I'm sure many of you listening to this have overcome and come back, maybe many times. I know I've failed so many times, and they say just fail forward, right? But this was success pulled out from under me. And if I had an email list of all the people using those apps, I'd have been okay. I could have just changed the format or send them to a different platform, or there's a lot of things I could do. So once you have that email list, that's yours. No one can take that away. You can launch a product of your own, right? Launch your own product. And I've helped a lot of people do that too. I mean, if you want to talk, reach out. We can talk about creating a product for you. But you can launch a product of your own. You can sell affiliate products directly to your fans. You can drive traffic to new content. You like I said before, you make a video, and you make a video and you send an email to your list saying, "Hey, I just made a video about this." I'm sure you're getting them. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It lets you build a relationship outside of the noise, and it creates real influence, not just visibility. And it's not complicated. Um, it's not hard. It's really not. And all you need is something valuable to offer. We call that a lead magnet. Um, and you give them that lead magnet, whatever it is, in exchange for their email. Maybe it's a free guide. It depends what niche you're in, right? What you're talking about. But maybe it's a free guide. How to do this, how to do that. Maybe it's a 3-day challenge or a course. Maybe you start, you tell people, "Hey, I'm going to do a 3-day live course," or whatever, whatever it is. Maybe it's just as simple as a template or a checklist, something that I mean, your fans, you know what gets a rise out of them, right? Maybe it's early access to something or exclusive behind the scenes updates. But once they join your list, that's when they're truly part of your community. Not a bunch of strangers out there that every now and then watch your videos or check your posts, right? Um, they're not just your followers, they're members now, and they can't be taken away. Of course, they can take themselves off the list, right? But I found this the other day: "Error, your account's been disabled for violating our terms. Learn how you may be able to restore your account." Most of the time, you can't, right? I still, to this day, and it's 10 years ago or whatever it is now, I don't even want to think about it, but um, I still don't know why I was banned. Like I said, the email said multiple terms of service violations. I had never gotten one email from Google saying I violated anything. So I don't know how they came up with multiple, but I couldn't talk to anybody. I could send emails till I was blue in the face, but they just ignored me. So I asked before, what business is Google in, right? That's the mindset you got to have. You got to think about it like Google does. So you ask, well, what business is Google in? Are they in the search business? Are they in the email business? Are they in the ad business? Do they offer storage? Yeah, all of the above, right? But really, they're in the data business. Think about that for a minute. They make billions of dollars selling access to you, right? They know what people like, they know what people click, they know what people buy. Google makes their money for the most part through selling ads. right? And they've got a list of everyone who's ever clicked on those ads. They know how to attract those people. They're in the database business. That's what Google does the best. They know they have all your emails. They know who you email as long as your email is through Google. But imagine if you had your own version of that. And I know a lot of you do, right? But if you don't, you need to get on it today. Imagine if you had a list of your fans and your followers that already, they went to your landing page, they went to your site, and they said, "Yep." The term we use in marketing is they raise their hand. You want to get people to raise their hand. And those are your best fans. Those are your best followers. And so you can launch anything and have people see it. Like I said, a product, a course, an affiliate product, or just a video. You post a new video. Hey, I just posted my video about this. Get those people to come and watch the video. Get them to come and interact with the video. And you know this, so I'm preaching to the choir. But and that's what the top creators do. The creators that make the most money, that are the most successful, they learn to market themselves using an email list. And it's a harsh lesson. A lot of times platforms disappear. Do you remember Vine? It was pretty big for the time it was. I think, Vine was like, I remember Vine. It was like 6 second or these little tiny comedy sketches for, I don't know if it was 40 seconds or 6 seconds, but they were this little short. It's kind of what led to Google, to like YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and stuff like that. And TikTok that's like a little longer extended version of what Vine used to be. But do you remember Vine? Do you remember MySpace? Who in the heck would have ever imagined MySpace being gone at the time? Google Plus. Maybe you remember Google Plus, maybe you don't. I had clients furious when the Google Plus sites were shut down. They're all buried in what I call the social media graveyard. So whatever your biggest platform is, you can't rely on it. I mean, let's face it, we don't think YouTube's going anywhere, but TikTok, we just had that big struggle not so long ago where they were thinking of, the government and it's Chinese and should we trust it? There's a lot of people that don't trust it. And there was threats about, if a certain percentage of TikTok wasn't sold to someone in the US was going to block it. But stuff like that happens and it's going to continue to happen. 10 years from now, I bet YouTube's around, but I can guarantee you 10 years from now, some of the platforms that are the biggest now, there's like the big seven, that's gonna be a different list. Some of them might still be on it, but there's gonna be different places that are gonna pop up between now and then. So you never know if you're going to get banned or if your platform that's your main platform is going to get shut down. So, but email still here. It's one of the first functions ever created. There's people that have had their email addresses for 20 years, right? It's still powerful. It's still the number one best return on investment statistically in marketing. And unlike social media, open rates on email don't depend on whether you posted at the right time or use the right hashtag. Now they're saying hashtags aren't important because of AI. But so creating your list, it's not complicated, but it's critical. You don't need a 12-person team. You don't need a fancy funnel. You start simple, right? You pick a platform, what's called an autoresponder. And I'm gonna go through a little step by step in a minute. But you're gonna pick a platform that's gonna send your emails. Email like Go High Level or Aweber. There's hundreds of them, right? The monkey one, and there's so many of them. You create a web page where people can join your list. You offer them something valuable. They sign up, and you start sending once a week. It could be an every now and then email. It could be wishing them a happy birthday, happy holidays. You could start an actual newsletter. That's something we're happy to partner with you at and help you send your newsletters. But like I said before, I've made these for lots of businesses. Most of them were brick and mortar businesses or e-commerce businesses. They have to work hard to build an email list, right? Because they have to run ads. They have to do something to attract people to their list to get in front of people to make that offer, right? If you're running a brick and mortar business, like let's say you're a chiropractor, right? You can put a sign in your lobby, sign up for our newsletter. Otherwise, they need to spend money to run ads wherever they run their ads, Facebook, Google, to get people to join their list. You already have your fans' attention. So depending on the size, your size, right? How big your follower list is, you can just start mentioning at the beginning or end of every video, oh, by the way, we're offering this for free. The links, you know what I'm talking about, the links down, in the description. So since you already have people's attention, you don't need to spend the money to build your list. You're just going to talk about it. It's such an advantage to build your list with. I mean, hell, even Santa has a list, right? So now what? I'll make other videos that talk more in depth about the specific how-tos to expand on this, right? Um, and the different parts of it. But for now, here's a few things to think about to build your list. First, you need a lead magnet. A lead magnet is something that you'll use to entice your members to sign up. Register here, get a left-handed yo-yo string if your niche is yo-yos or whatever it is, right? So start thinking about this. What will your fans like? What will they trade their email address and their name for? And you don't even need to get their name, but what are they willing to trade that you can offer? Certainly, if you've got a follower base, there's things that you know what you can offer to get them to join a list. And sometimes you offer two things, you split test, you see which one gets the biggest percentage of signups, but that's page 5, right? So start thinking about what you want to run, what you want your lead magnet to be, and you run it by me if you want. Post, send me an email, and I'll give you my thoughts. And then you're going to need what's called an autoresponder to send the emails automatically. And like I said, there's a lot of options. I offer a system. It's an AI sprinkle system. It's a white label of Go High Level that I offer it for less than you could even get it through High Level directly for. It's well under $100, so it's even cheaper than going to Go High Level itself. But it includes a landing page, a website, squeeze pages, we call it, AI employees to do some of the work, a CRM to track all your best people. It'll do all the emailing automatically for you. It'll build your list. You just got to send them to the page, right? So you're going to need an autoresponder, whether you go through me or you get your own. It's up to you. And if you don't have a website yet, you're going to need a URL, a www address. I'm sure you know what a URL is. And a real email address. You really shouldn't be using like so-and-so at gmail.com, so-and-so at AOL or yahoo.com. I still see AOL email addresses sometimes, but I suggest you get a professional email address. So it's only about $20 a year to look like a pro, right? So you can go to Namecheap or GoDaddy, or there's 1,000 places you can go, right? You'll also need either a place on your website for people to join, to post on your website, or better yet, a one-page website called a landing page. And there's a certain strategy when you build a landing page. For example, if you just put like on the bottom of your web page, sign up for my newsletter here. First off, most people are never going to go to the bottom. Even if it's at the top, there's so many other things on your web page that can distract them. Oh, let's click here. Let's look around. Oh, let's watch this video. A squeeze page is what we call it, or a landing page. It has no links on the top. There's nowhere else to go. They have two options on a landing page. And I'll make a whole video about this, but there's two options. Either they leave or they sign up for your list. The whole page is written to get them to that little box where they put your name and email. And you do it right, statistically, you're going to get a lot more people to sign up, right? So you're going to need a website. You're going to need a domain for that, a www address. That's going to be your website or your squeeze page address. Plus, it's going to be your email address. So here's the list, right? And I can help with any of these. If you have any questions, just email me, post below. I watch these things. So get a domain, your www address. Second, get a landing page or a website. And if you go through our program, you can build it all right through there. Get a domain email. So get like you at, let's say your name is fly. You talk about fly fishing, right? So it's like Joe at flyfishing.com, or Maybe get a help at fly fishing or a support at fly fishing. You only need one, but it's, it's nice to get a few different ones so you can tell what people are looking for as the emails come in. Then you're going to create your lead magnet. We can help you with that. Um, then you're going to get your autoresponder or your in CRM, right? Where you can just log in at any time, see a list of all your people, see when they signed up, see which offer they signed up for, and then push one button and send them all emails. And if you do it right, it's all automated, right? All you do is mention on your videos or mention in your posts, go here to get this. People go there, they sign up, it automatically sends them to a thank you page that says, thanks for joining. You don't say my list, but thanks for signing up to get this. And then you can also sell something else there on that page or have an upsell or an affiliate product, right? And this is all done automatically. So you just tell them where to go. They sign up, it sends them to a thank you page, it sends them a thank you email with whatever you offered them or with a link to go get whatever you offered them. It adds them to your list. And you can even set it up so after 3 days, it sends them another email. After 10 days, it sends them another email. Then every week, it sends them an email. Or you can write a newsletter or whatever you want, right? Learn their birthdays, send them a birthday wish. These are all things that make you stand out in their eyes, that make you seem more professional and more personal. It's really about personal attention. If your people feel you're talking to them specifically, you're going to do so much better. And an email list can help that, right? Um, and finally, start today. So if you're an influencer, a creator, a visionary, whatever you call yourself, don't let your empire rest on borrowed land. Because if you're not collecting emails, you're just collecting likes, and that could go away. So if you want to join our group, come and join us. Get all the tools, training you need. It's at Influencer School Kit, school.com/influencer school kit. Schools with a K. They say not to play with spelling, but it works. So Influencer School Kit, school.com/influencer school kit. I'm Deacon Nick or Deacon Z if you're playing computer games, and that's a whole nother video. But thanks so much for being here. Again, send me an email or something if I can help you in any way. Go to school.com/influencer school kit. Join our community. I hope this was helpful. I'll be making other videos, or I've already made it, other videos with the details on all this stuff. So I appreciate you. I love you. Thanks for being here. May God bless. Bye.